Hello, my name is Grandpa Phil, and I have a story for you. It's called The Upside Down Spider Bird Feeder. Yellow finches are uplifting to Grandpa. They are his sunshine on a cloudy day. On a sunny day, the bluebirds add brilliance and joy. Grandpa raised the bird feeder on his deck high enough so that every morning he can see the birds feeding from it. It has a place to stand and a total of 8 holes to feed through. But where is that finch, colored yellow, like a canary? He could see only the blue jay, woodpeckers, doves, and blackbirds all sticking their large heads into holes on the feeder. Quickly, the sunflower seeds that filled the bird feeder have disappeared. One night, bang goes the feeder, hitting the porch. Roxanne the raccoon was around. She ate the black sunflower seeds also. Just put her little paw in the hole and pulls out a handful. Roxanne and Molly the muskrat have learned to take turns climbing and tipping the pole and scattering the sunflower seeds all over the porch. When morning comes, there are no more seeds left in the feeder. The big birds like it that way. They just land on the deck and help themselves to a free meal. Grandpa must pick up the feeder and set it straight. But where are the little birdies, the sparrows, the finches? Seems like the big creatures rule Grandpa's feeding place. Because they are bigger, they must think they come first. Between the big birds and Roxanne the raccoon and Molly the muskrat, my 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds almost all gone. Grandpa has a problem. He thought of putting grease on the pole so a big animal would not get a good grip to climb it and knock it down. It was early afternoon. The sun was bright. As Grandpa stood near the basement door, squinting and thinking, mostly thinking and watching Sally at work. There she was, Sally the spider, waiting for a meal. She looked like a curled up ball. Suddenly, her web began to shudder. Like a book, Sally opened up, showing her long spider legs. Quickly, she moved to a moth who wiggled in her web. Sally wrapped the insect in silk. Up and under she spun, her legs being up in the air. Grandpa was intrigued to see how Sally was doing her spinning upside down. 'Cause we folks put our food in a bag, Grandpa thought. Sally makes her own bag. The last time Grandpa looked at his feeder, it was still there. 1, 2, 3. Grandpa counted the feeding holes. There were 8 holes on the feeder. Well, he remembered, Sally had 8 of something too. 8 legs. Thanks to Sally the spider, Grandpa suddenly knew what he needed: bird feeder legs. Grandpa put a long piece of slender pipe into each hole of the feeder, and at the tip of each pipe he hung a round bird feeder surrounded by a tiny screen. A big animal could not hold on to the pipes, and a big bird could not get his beak in that screen. Grandpa was happy because maybe now the tiny birds would have a place to eat without being afraid. Grandpa filled up all 8 of the small bird feeders with a screen just right for small beaks. The very next day they came. Grandpa watched through his favorite watching window as he drank his breakfast juice. To his delight, the tiny birds hung on the mesh of each feeder and pecked at the seeds inside. They explored the strange upside-down bird feeder and became more comfortable as they began to fly from one feeder to the next, having a taste of all 8. And then the yellow finches came, first 2, then 10, and they were not afraid. And the pink ones came, even the hummingbirds came, and brown and gray ones came. They fluttered, fluttered and flittered and flipped in the air and landed on the legs of Grandpa's spider bird feeder. If the big birds and Roxanne, the raccoon, and Molly, the muskrat, came, they were welcome, but only to eat the seeds that dropped to the deck of the floor. Even the small creatures have a place in God's world. 1. Let whoever is small be valued. 2. Let who is afraid be made unafraid. 3. Let the weak be lifted to a higher plane. 4. Let the unloved receive loving. 5. Let whoever hungers be fed. Thank you.
Thank you, Grandpa.